Hey everyone, it's me Mary, and I hope you have all had a fantastic couple of weeks since I made a video. So I'm going to show you progress on my whips. Two of these, no progress. So I have my Lakeside Village by Dimensions, and I didn't work on this since you last saw it, but I'll insert pictures of what this is supposed to look like when it's finished and what it looks like now. Okay, so I only have a few more columns to do, but pretty happy with this. And the next one I have is my mom's Pinky. So again, I haven't worked on this since you saw it, last saw it, but I will insert pictures of what this looks like when it's supposed to be finished and what it looks like now. And the one project that I actually did work on is my Hade. This is Lackadaisy Memorial. And yeah, I've made pretty good progress on this. I have a full page finished. This is page 1. And then I'm working on page 7 down here. And then I'll do 2 and 8. And then I will remove my Q-snap. I worked on this for my cute little BB-8 needle minder, but I worked on this for the cross stitch finish line stitchathon, and I almost got 1,500 stitches done. Almost. I was so close. But these I've had questions about. These are like my waist knots, so if you guys are wondering what those are. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this, so I will insert a picture of what this is supposed to look like when it's finished, what it looked like the last time you guys saw it, and what it looks like now. Okay, so I have been watching people's videos that I'm subscribed to, that have subscribed to me, and I'm on Organic Grandy's videos right now. And it's funny because one of her videos, she's like, oh, I'm almost at I think she said she had 300 subscribers, or she was almost there, and now she has like almost 1,800. So it's like, yeah, she's progressed a little bit. But, and she's mentioned how her backs are not the greatest. I'm like, no, they're pretty freaking great, because the backs of mine aren't very good, but I guess they're okay. This is my Lackadaisy Memorial, because I park and stuff. So, yeah, but her backs are, like, awesome. But I was watching Karen Fox's videos. She has racked me in the past, and she's just such an amazing person, very, very generous. She's fellow Canadian, and I was watching one of her videos, and she showed a chart that I loved, and it's from Mystic Stitch. And I went on Mystic Stitch's website, and they didn't carry it anymore. So I commented on Karen's video, and she offered to send it to me because she didn't think she was ever going to stitch it. So it is Black Masquerade by Maxine Gadd, whose stuff was just retired from Hade. But it is beautiful. It's got all of these golds and, you know, blues, purples, greens, colors I think of when I think of like Mardi Gras. It's beautiful, and I'm looking forward to stitching this. I don't know when I will, but thank you so much, Karen. I will link her video, her channel below, because you should definitely check her out. She's one of the people who has done my first tag video. I'll link that below as well. I was hoping more people would do it, because lots of people do Heaven and Earth, or any full size piece. And then she said that I was like one of her favorites, and she wanted to meet me. So I thought that was very, very sweet. And yeah, she's just an awesome person, so you should definitely check her out. And yeah, thank you so much, Karen. I love it. It's beautiful. I don't know when I will stitch that, but I will stitch that sometime in the future. So thank you. Link her video or channel below. And then I'll also link my other tag below, because nobody has done that, the get to know me tag with like a bunch of random questions. I thought people would actually want to do that one because it's random and I think everybody could do it. But yeah, I'll link that below. And I have like a playlist on my channel of videos that people have done with my first tag in it, and one of the videos is private now, so I don't know whose video it is. I'm like, no, I kind of want to know. But I have my journal. This is for my Haid, by the way. And this is how I keep track of, on Photoshop, I had a mishap where I chart in Photoshop, as I've mentioned, and one day I put my computer to sleep and I loaded it up the next day, the next morning, and it wouldn't turn on. I guess it hadn't actually went to sleep. I closed my screen and didn't actually let it properly go to sleep. So it had issues, and when I rebooted my computer, the Photoshop file got corrupted, and I wasn't paying like $70-something to get a program to do it. So I just recharted the whole thing. Luckily, it was only page 1. But anyway, how I keep track of my pages. Okay, here we go. Over here, I have column 3, page 7, and then this will be column 4, page 7. Each column that I do per page, I write down in this little book. I write down, where is it? The symbol that's going to be in that column, the box number in my thread organizer that it corresponds to. So this would be box 42. The DMC numbers, this is 3861, and then up here I have columns 1, 2, 3, and 9. So those are the column number, or the block number that corresponds to. So that one's in 1, 2, 3, and 9, and I've already done blocks 1 and 2 of that color. So I have 3, and then I know that I can cut off and then do like a waist knot or whatever, and then it won't be until block 9. So this works for me. This is how I kind of work. So that's what I do there. So thank you so much, Karen, for the RAK. It's awesome. And I was watching Carolina's video today because I'm excited to see like what plans people have for Stitch Mania, and I really like Carolina. And she has a bunch of stuff in her video. I really like her videos, and I racked her the mini aquamarine from Haid, and I'm excited whenever she decides to start that. If you go watch her videos, you'll know she went through something, her and her husband, so I wanted to rack her. I thought it'd be nice to kind of send her a little bit of maybe happiness for something that obviously you can't really control, and yeah, so I wanted to try to do something nice for somebody. But that's it as far as my stitching goes. That's all I have to show you guys. The only thing I hauled was I decided to get some John James needles. I got them from Amazon because the eBay seller that I buy from, that I bought my bowen needles from, it was cheaper to go through Amazon. So I got a pack of 26 John James needles. Those are amazing. I love them. They are so easy to thread. I don't even have to use a threader. Awesome. Highly recommend. They are amazing. And yeah, they weren't super expensive. I think they were like $8-something with free shipping. Highly recommend. They had a lot of different sizes and stuff, and it was just cheaper with free shipping, like 2-day free shipping to go on Amazon. So that's about it for what I have to show you there. So I'm going to recommend like kind of a website if you guys are into movies. I've been using it for a while now, but it is called Letterboxd. I'll link it below. It's a great website that you can go ahead and just record what movies. There's an app for it too, but you can record movies that you've been watching, give it like a rating, a review, give it if you've seen it before or not, and all that stuff. So I think I'll tell you guys like what I've watched, because I like movies, I just haven't seen that much. So in April, because it is May now, I watched Under the Tuscan Sun. I have the book. Ryan's parents got me a couple of Christmases ago that I haven't read, but I want to read it, and I want to go to Italy someday, and I liked it. I wanted to watch it because Netflix was removing it, so I got to see it just under the wire, and I kind of would want to see it again someday just to see what I think of it. And the next movie I watched was The Final Girls, which is Came out a couple years ago. It's an homage to 80s slasher films like Friday the 13th, and it wasn't quite as good as I was hoping it would be, but I still liked it. The main character's mom was a film star, like an 80s slasher film star of the 80s, and then she ends up dying in an accident, and then on the anniversary of her death, this movie theater is putting together like a tribute to her, and her daughter's invited, and her and her friends get transported into this like movie, and it's how are they going to survive against this killer and all this stuff. So I kind of dug it. It's not my favorite movie, but it was a fun watch. Logan, Ryan wanted to see that, so he and I went to see with Jamie, our friend. And I hadn't really seen any of the other X-Men movies except for a couple of them, more recent movies. I didn't see Apocalypse, but I thought it was really good. I liked it. The Good Son with Elijah Wood and Macaulay Culkin. I really like Elijah Wood. I had a crush on him when I was little. I feel so bad for him in the movie because Macaulay Culkin's just an ass, and nobody believes Elijah Wood in the movie, and he's so young and innocent and cute. I like the movie. The live action Beauty and the Beast I did like. I thought they did a really good job with it. Yeah, they addressed some stuff that the animated film didn't, like why nobody knows about this castle, even though it's not that far away from their village. And Belle, I mean, Emma Watson isn't French, obviously. I know people were complaining, like, oh, she's not French, boo, they should have got a French actress. Well, in the animated version, Belle isn't French, technically. She doesn't have that accent or anything. Stuff like that doesn't bug me. I mean, you know. So I watched that. I liked it. I'd recommend it. And the songs and everything were good. Gaston was more evil. LeFou wasn't quite as bumbling. And yeah, you got a backstory into what happened to Belle's mom and everything, so I liked it. And it was a little more true to the book, or the story in some cases. So, like in the book, Maurice steals a rose for Belle, and that's why the Beast captures him. And then the last movie I saw was A Girl on the Train. I'd been really wanting to watch it. I wanted to read the book. I read some of the book. I borrowed it from the library. And then I kind of guessed the twist, so I watched the movie, and the movie was a little bit of a letdown, so it wasn't the best. But those are the movies I watched, so I'll link below the website that you guys can check out. There's an app. I'd recommend it. It's really helpful if you're into movies and stuff. But that is about it as far as everything I want to talk about. Okay, so I want to explain why I took a big break from FLOSSTUBE and from stitching. I made a video before telling, and then I cut it because I was really emotional, and I'll probably get emotional talking about it this time. But basically, I'm adopted. For those that don't know, you probably do because I've mentioned it before, but I can't remember if I kept it in or not. My biological father's sister and her husband adopted me, and so I was adopted when I was a few days old, and they've been so wonderful and amazing, and I couldn't have asked for any better parents. They're just so supportive and wonderful, and they're awesome people. I have 3 older siblings, an older brother who actually likes me and considers me a sister, and then I have an older sister who hates me, and that's not an exaggeration. I wish it was, but she's never really showed me any kindness. I remember when I was about 18 and I had woken up, but I was still in bed, and I don't know, it was like 7 in the morning, and I had heard her look. I could see her a little bit, and I pretended I was asleep because I didn't really want to talk to her, and I heard her say "you lazy bitch" to me when she thought I was asleep. So yeah, it's not the greatest thing to hear when I didn't do anything wrong. And then I have another brother who I've seen a few times in my lifetime, so I don't really consider him a brother. I'll try to make this as brief as possible, but he came back into our lives last year. He was there the year before, but I was at Ryan's and stuff, and he came into our lives, and I really wish he hadn't. He stayed at my parents' lakeside property last year. He was supposed to do a bunch of stuff. He didn't really do much of anything. My mom was getting fed up with him, and she actually she went to tell him the one day he was there, because we drove up, that he couldn't use the electricity because he was using it for like a deep fryer at a campsite, basically, except it wasn't a campsite, but that's pretty much what he was treating it like. And we got there, I guess my mom told him that, and I saw his car, and I had a bad feeling that something was going to happen. So I stayed in the car. She was going to get some stuff, and she ended up telling him, and he didn't like it. So he got out of their little cabin that they have there, and he kept going in and out and slamming the door like 4 or 5 times, and I could tell he was pissed off. So I got out of the car, and he was yelling at my mom, and I intervened, and I told him that he was an asshole, and that he had like no respect for my parents, and that he was just a jerk. And I used some other choice words. He didn't like that very much, and he doesn't like when women talk back to him. He told me that I should learn respect, and he was going to take me over his knee and beat my ass. He threw coffee at my car, and I tried to push him away from my mom. He grabbed me by the arm, and he made a swing for my face. My mom said that he wasn't going to hit me, and then he just kind of went off, and I got in the car, I was like crying, I was very emotional at this point, and she ended up going into the cabin to get something, and I could see I looked up and she was on the floor, and I didn't think much of it until she came to the car, and she had this huge bruise on her arm. I took pictures of it. It was this huge bruise, probably like at least that big, and it was bleeding, and she said she wanted to call the police and file a report, or at least call the police. So we called the police, and when he was leaving, he was yelling, you know, really rude remarks to me, and it was upsetting, and I was crying, and then we had to go. Oh, and his girlfriend was saying, I'm gonna tell them that that I was the one who was beating him and stuff, which wasn't true at all. So the police came, took our statement, we went there, got pictures taken. After my mom had her pictures taken, my arm was so bruised that they had to take pictures of my arm, and I was very emotional. I was crying a lot. Having to give a report is not fun, and I'm just happy that I was there to stop anything that was going to happen, because he had thrown her against the wall, and you know, she's visually impaired and in her 70s, and who knows, he could have taken something and hit her over the head. He did try. He threw a coffee cup at her head, and it hit the shed and made this big dent in it. So he has a really bad temper, and I'm just thankful that I was there to stop it. Because my dad had been there, I don't know what would have happened, because he has a bad temper, and yeah, it was horrible. And then after that happened, one day, my parents, I took them up there, and I left and went back home, and when I got back home, I was driving, and I saw his car, and I started to freak out a little bit. I was like, hopefully he doesn't know it's me, and he started following me in his car. So I drove around for a good 10-15 minutes, and then finally stopped following me, because I didn't want to go home to have him confront me or something. And I freaked out, and I had to go see my parents, and they had to come and stay with me because I was freaking out. I was afraid that something would happen. I didn't want to be in that situation where I was alone. And it took me a while to get over it. And he pled guilty, even though he claimed he was innocent. He pled guilty. So he wasn't allowed near us. And he sent my dad like a birthday card and had tried to contact my dad a few times. My dad wanted nothing to do with him. So we thought it was all done and over. He left. And then today, my mom got news from my sister that he was possibly going to be moving back. And when I was Skyping with my mom and she told me, I was keeping it together, but it's upsetting. I don't want him around, and my mom's upset and everything, and it's like, no, this person who does something horrible to you shouldn't be allowed to be anywhere near you. And she's hoping he doesn't go up to their property and stuff and try to stay there, because he tried that after. He called her and wanted to stay there, and she's like, no, I don't want anything to do with you. So it gives me anxiety, and it gives me nausea, and it gives me all these feelings. And my sister was supporting him and believing, and he had on Facebook, I had pictures of what he did to my mom, and I had to take them down because the police that were investigating said that I couldn't have them up because he wasn't officially charged. He had on Facebook apparently that me and my mom were the ones who beat him up. He didn't have any marks on him. He's a 50-something-year-old dude. There's no way in hell my mom, who is visually impaired and albino, could beat him up. I'm sorry, but no, and neither could I. So it's very upsetting. And Ryan, I messaged him and told him what happened when it happened. And he's just amazing and sweet. And he drove the 8+ hours, 9 hours, I think the next day or that day, he took time off of work to come and see me. And he's wonderful and amazing. And I love him, and I'm so, so lucky and fortunate that we found each other. And yeah, he's incredible. I love him, and he's awesome and sweet and everything to me. So I'm glad he wasn't there when it happened, because he's very strong and tough, and he would have done something, and then my brother probably would have pressed charges against him, and then he might not have been allowed back in Canada, which would have sucked, and I would have been heartbroken. But yeah, and then my birth mother had died a few months ago. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was this year. So yeah, there's that. But I was never close to my birth parents, and my birth mom had issues with bipolarism and stuff, and my birth father does drugs and stuff, so I don't want anything to do with him. So I'm just happy that I have my parents and the people in my life who actually matter to me. And I have, like, I'm not inviting some people to the wedding just because, and my sister's one of them, just because I've never done, I don't know why she doesn't like me. She and my one brother have resented my parents for adopting me. So it sucks. It is what it is. But I wanted to get back into stitching because it's helped. It's a form of therapy, and doing these videos is a form of therapy. And I might get thumbs down for this video. I'm not like my chipper, happy self. But it's good to express opinions, and I've tried recording this video like 3 times. The first time audio was weird. Second time worked great, except that there was like one of my videos playing somehow, so you could hear 2 audio versions of me. I don't know how that happens. I'm hoping this video works. If it doesn't, I'll have to wait until tomorrow or something, because Ryan's gonna be home soon. But yeah, so I'm sorry if I've repeated myself, but I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's stitching plans and Stitch Mania plans and stuff. I won't be participating because I just can't. But it's kind of a gloomy, gusty day. But yeah, hopefully you guys like my progress on my hate, at least, because I don't have progress in the other 2 things at all. And thank you again so much, Karen Fox, for gifting me the beautiful, beautiful black masquerade. It's gorgeous, and I love it so much, and it feels nice to be racked. She racked me once before. It was very, very sweet, and I looked to see if maybe she had a heaven and earth wish list, but she doesn't. So she's just very sweet, and yeah, it's nice to have people like that in the world. But I was definitely more emotional when I recorded this the other 2 times, because yeah, I didn't think talking about it was going to affect me as much as it has, but it does. Kind of remembering what happened, and just the fact that, you know, he's going to be around possibly, and it sucks. It's not. There's so many emotions that run through your head with something like this. And I'm not even upset for me. What happened to me wasn't anything. What happened to my mom was horrible, and you know, it shouldn't have happened. Yeah. And luckily I have Ryan, who, that's the part I get most emotional about, is talking about Ryan. Because he's so sweet and he's wonderful and I love him. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. I'll link all the stuff I talked about below to my other videos and to Karen's channel. And yeah, so I hope you all have enjoyed my video. And thank you so much for watching. It means a lot to me. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything, feel free to leave them below. I keep getting more subscribers, so that's awesome. I'm really excited and very thankful to all of you who actually like my videos enough, or like me enough, to keep watching. And I'll link my Instagram and everything below, because I post update pictures of my progress on my work, on my whips. But thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to leave them, because I like interacting and talking with you guys. I know some people have done like live streams and stuff. I don't think I could ever do that, because one, I don't think enough people tune in to do that. And two, I would probably get super flustered actually, like, knowing people are watching me live, as opposed to me recording a video for you all and then editing it, putting it up. Because Ryan actually called me when I was recording this, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing a video, and he's like, oh baby, I'm sorry. So I had to stop and restart the last half of my video. But yeah, thank you so much, you guys. It means a lot to me. You guys are amazing and wonderful, and I really appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a fun, sketchy day, and yeah, bye everyone.